Sounds good.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bangkok, Thailand. Welcome to the Imperial World Ice Skating Rink, and welcome to the ISU Junior Grand Prix Bangkok, Thailand 2023. This is an event of the International Skating Union and hosted by the Figure and Speed Skating Association of Thailand. In just a few moments, we will start the Junior Ladies short program. We remind you that flash photography as well as video recording and filming is forbidden. Gifts and flowers offered to the skaters at the end of their performance must be completely wrapped, and we thank you very much for your cooperation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce the officials for this event. Representing the International Skating Union, please welcome the referee of the event, Susan Lynch. The panel of judges. From Australia, Karen Thompson. Judge number 2, from Thailand, Himsan Raghunatthilo Napuket. Judge number 3, from Japan, Ryuko Niramoto. Judge number 4, from Canada, Andrea Derby. Judge number 5, from France, Helen Kudupat. Judge number 6, from Korea, Jung-Soo Lee. Judge number 7, from Italy, Marco Fagoglio. Judge number 8, from China, Yu Wang. Judge number 9, from New Zealand, Sandra Williamson-Wheatley. The technical panel, the technical controller, Lisa Rosto Jensen. The technical specialists, Mamiko Yamai. And Stock Davis.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the ISU Junior Grand Prix Series. This year we visit for the very first time in ISU's history the busy and bustling city of Bangkok, Thailand, home to just around 14 million people. I'm your host, Ted Barden, and it's a great pleasure to once again work with my friend and colleague, Mark Hanratty, who will be joining me from his home studio in Nottingham, UK. Well, we have 140 skaters from 30 nations competing this week, and we begin day 1 with the women's short program, which starts right now. Welcome everyone to Bangkok, Thailand, and the very first Junior Grand Prix event ever held in this part of the world. I'm your host, Ted Barton, and 8,000 kilometers away is Mark Hanratty in his studio at home in Nottingham. Mark, great to have you on board.
So, Ted, thank you so much. So excited to be back. I couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited to see what was going to happen, and it's quite a privilege to be here even from a little distance away from you on site in Thailand and Bangkok.
Well, we are looking live inside the arena here. This is a center of excellence for the ISU, and this is quite an amazing facility on the 5th floor of a mall here in Bangkok. You wouldn't tell it. You'd think that there would be people shopping, but it is a separated part of the mall as we take a look at the first group taking to the ice for their warm-up. And there is a look at the officials for this event.
I'm sure the judges as well that we can see listed will be just as excited as the skaters to get the opportunity to come to this part of the world and celebrate skating. And it's been a very busy venue, having hosted the Asian Open Trophy last week, so it's well prepped and well versed for more international skating again over the next few days.
Oh, it's so interesting as we take a look at the starter for the junior women's short program. Speaking to a lot of the coaches and some of the skaters as well about the travels here in this part of the world and how unique and different it is. And we're so excited to see the sport of figure skating begin to globalize, if you will. That's one of the wonderful things about the Junior Grand Prix is the spread of the sport and exposure worldwide, and as we see new countries joining us all the time. And you'll see, Mark, a lot of different standards here in this Junior Grand Prix series. You're going to see some skaters that are just kind of starting out to compete. They're here at the international competition. You'll see some skaters just, getting their doubles, maybe a double axel, then some starting with a triple or two, and then some will move all the way into all the triples. So we will see a very wide standard of skating, but that's what I love. It takes courage, whether you're the best or whether you're a skater just learning on the doubles. It takes tremendous courage to be out there.
Absolutely. It's such a big stage, really. The opening of the Junior Grand Prix series, the eyes of the skating community around the world will be fixated on these young women competing. And as we see them on the screen now, no matter what level that they're coming into this competition at, Ted, this is huge for them all individually. And we just wish every single one of them an absolute personal best.
Yeah, a couple questions coming in already from some of the viewers around the world, Mark. The first time here in Thailand, absolutely. When this came first up, I thought, oh, this is, okay, it's not close to Vancouver, but I'm probably you're closer. But anyways, I ended up here, and what a pleasure it has been, no question about that. And I'm so thrilled to see our beautiful sport and these wonderful young athletes expand worldwide. Another question here, what's the best thing about being in Thailand? Just the fact it is completely a different part of the world, and this ice arena is a center of excellence for the ISU, but it is on the 5th floor, as I mentioned, of a mall here. So it's a completely different type of neighborhood than what you would see perhaps in Europe or in North America. And what do you think of the athletes at this time? Well, I've been watching the practices yesterday and today, and as I mentioned, there's a wide range of abilities, but saw some really, really good young skaters as well. So it's always exciting to get started. You never really know what the Junior Grand Prix is going to provide for that season until you get into this 3rd and 4th Junior Grand Prix event, and looking forward to that part.
Yeah, and as you say, it is so exciting, and obviously there have been some changes with the age requirements heading into seniors, so we're going to be treated to seeing some juniors staying on the Junior Grand Prix circuit for an extra season than they might have previously done, and so hopefully the standards will be better than ever, really. But as you said, Ted, it's not necessarily just about seeing that great elite skating, but being able to celebrate so much inclusion, and there are 26 different skating nations represented in this competition alone, and that is quite impressive.
And you saw in the background there as this young woman was just doing a layback, there's a number of fans in here. They do have a number of people that are coming in to experience the sport, who haven't seen figure skating. They may have seen an ice rink and they may have strapped on some rusty old blades, but I think, to see the sport in all its beauty, it's just, great exposure. I want to ask you, Mark, for those fans that have never really experienced skating, the feeling of skating, how do you describe that incredible feeling of the wind and the blades?
Well, it's so hard to describe unless you have felt that magic feeling. And yet it is that glide, that wind through the hair type feeling that so many skaters yearn for and crave for. And although these young athletes they'll be so fixated on the job in hand, the competitive aspects that they're about to endure, if you like, but they have a skill set now and a gift that they can carry through in life. And there's a few things as wonderful as being able to glide on the ice, and now all of these athletes have that in abundance.
Yeah, and I think, of course, at this stage, these athletes have been doing this for years, so they might just sort of forget about how beautiful that feeling is when you don't have it. You go back on the ice and you say, oh, I remember this. It is really an experience to glide effortlessly through this. But here you'll see some of the skaters will take a fall, and of course that doesn't always look so nice, right? So, and it's hard on the body.
Yeah.
It's hard on the body when I watch them, I'm going, oh, I used to skate like that. I can't believe I survived it, right? Yeah. So
hindsight's always a wonderful thing. We look back with such rose-tinted glasses, but certainly the training is arduous. But really admirable, so admirable, these athletes, what they do.
Love the work the coach is doing there with the athletes, with a smile on her face, and just sort of putting the athlete in a positive state of mind while they're focused and they've got nerves going on. And this is the first Junior Grand Prix they may be in. You'll see a number of skaters. This is the first international event ever for them. So they'll be pretty nervous and excited. What a great combination of sensations, nerves, and excitement.
Yeah, in my house with our children, we say nervous-sighted. Combination of nervous and excited.
There you go, new word. So we take a look at the...
And the coaches, they must be, Ted, so nervous too and excited. And so for them, though, to quash any emotions they have and just ooze positivity towards their students, that in itself is quite a feat.
We'll talk a lot over the next 7 weeks about the job of coaching, the challenges of that, the thrill of it as well, and try to recognize and bring to your attention some of these spectacular adult coaches around the world that are trying to help these young people pursue their dreams. As we take a look at the first skater on the ice, ready to get this Junior Grand Prix season started, 17-year-old Michiel Oktabatar from Mongolia, second Junior Grand Prix season. First was in 2021. She was born in the United States, but the family moved back to Mongolia in 2020. 17.02 personal best back in 2021 in the short program. And she'll start the Junior Grand Prix 2023 skating to the Phantom of the Opera.
Secret.
Michelle Gambatar opens the Junior Grand Prix Series, a skater that competed in this venue at the Asian Open Trophy last week. And that concludes her short program to the Phantom of the Opera. Not the skate that she would have been hoping for. A little bit more success in this venue last week with the jump combination, a couple of falls, unfortunately. But nevertheless, showing improvement from the last time she was on the Junior Grand Prix, Ted.
I'm sorry, I saw Michelle skate in the practice sessions. Skated really nicely, and just a little bit on a lean on that, on the first element. As we'll take a look at that here. And then just got a little bit unsettled after that. Here it is. And big lean in the air, bailed out a little bit and took that fall. Comes back down to the ice and gets that second element successful, of course. And here's a look at the double flip. Pretty good. Double toe loop. A big lean as well. Lands back on the heel and takes another hard fall. Certainly, as you mentioned, not the skate that she wanted. Certainly has improved. No question of that. We saw her last season. I saw her in a practice session here. Really good improvement. But in competition, things change.
Absolutely. Interesting to hear about Michelle's challenges. She'd returned to Mongolia, as you said, in July 2020, but didn't have any ice time until September 2021. So not been the optimal training, but the interaction between she and her coach seems really positive, as we saw in warm-up as well.
Yeah, it's so important. You'll see a lot of that here, much more in the juniors than you will in the seniors, where there is a fair amount of conversation between the coach and the athletes. Coach is really working to help the athlete through the emotional struggles of competing internationally, particularly with all the nerves and whatnot, and helping them grow and grow up and gain their confidence through their career. So you'll see a lot more discussion happen than you would in seniors. No question. As we take a look at the score for Michelle, 23.87, the first skater out in this event.
Next to skate, representing Singapore.
Well, our next skater is 15-year-old Viana Shen Wu Linke from Singapore, and coached and choreographed by Zhang Mo and Zhang Wei. First Junior Grand Prix event and international competition. She'll skate the short program. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, your friends keep acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on
Singapore's Viana Shenruling completes her short program. Another skater that competed in this venue just last week. And looking like she's learned some lessons, levels looking a little bit more positive than last week's event, but unfortunately that fall on the combination will be a bit costly for Viana.
And interesting, speaking to a number of the officials who have been here since last week, and just judging that competition, of course, and in this one as well. So busy work for them.
And as for the skaters, the judges and the officials, again, everybody getting themselves immersed back in the competitive arena. You can see the fall on the triple sacco. She stood up on that last week at the Asian Open.
There's a nice steps.
This
and
was
nice,
good, Ted.
Yeah, really nice steps in there. And good laid back, nicely centered. Haircut move, that is in at a level 2. Remember, there are 4 levels that you can achieve in these elements, the spin elements of the steps as well. And there's a number of features of which you need to accomplish during the execution of that element in order to get to level 4. Of course, then it's measured against the quality of the element, so the difficulty plus the quality. So you might have a more difficult element, but the quality is poor because it's harder. So it's a constant battle of where you are as an athlete in your own development. Take a look at the scores for Viana.
Viana Shenruling from Singapore.
A 31.24, and that will put Viana currently into first place, second skater out in this event.
She is currently in the first place. Next to skate, representing Singapore,
From
Anthea Gradinaru.
Switzerland, Anthea Gatanaru, 14 years old, second junior Grand Prix season, 11th in Courchevel last season, 16th in Enya, 51.23 personal best in the short program. Look if she can top that here right now.
You promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first and you adored it. Set fast on a forest and you let it burn. Singing off key in my chorus, 'cause it wasn't yours. I saw the signs and I ignored it. Rose-colored glasses all distorted. Set fire on purpose and you let it burn. You got out from the hurt.
Well, big leap in the technical difficulty from Anthea Gradinaru from Switzerland, and also big leap in her quality and improvement from last season when we saw her compete on the Junior Grand Prix there, Ted.
And there is an example of the surprises that we see. We haven't seen them training since last season, and my gosh, the technique and beautiful skating in between the elements as well. A little challenge on the double axel, a little slow on the landing, of course, but we'll take a look at some of these elements. They were really well done, and as you mentioned, Mark, they were difficult.
Yeah, really well done on that Lutz later in the program. The base value of that element would be great. This is the first, the jump combo.
Triple flip, triple loop. Now that's going to be under-rotated in the judging system, no question. Here's the double axel. Watch landing a little forward on the toe picks, not a lot of flow. That's going to be a minus GOE of 0.28, so losing some score. But beautiful layback, Mark.
And it's such a well-rounded skater, showing some real emotional maturity in the presentation component. This, the Lutz, late in the program, great running edge, making it easy for the judges to go into the positive GOE for that element.
And right up into a really nice flying sit-spin. There's a change of a difficult variation and 8 revolutions in there. So, wow, we're going to see a pretty good score here. And her personal best is 51.23, so we might see that broken here right now. What a great job. Big improvement. And I'm sure we'll see her a little bit later in the Junior Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, well done to the whole team. Sindre Krisa, Linda van Trooyen, and choreographer Benoit Richaud. It takes quite the village to produce this quality of skater. And they've obviously worked really hard through the off-season.
Yeah, and you can choreograph all the moves, but it's the sincerity in which the athlete presents those moves that makes it real or not. And so this young woman has been taught well, no question, but she's just maturing into a great performer. Let's take a look at the scores. Yes, it is a personal best of 53.62 for the short program. And that puts Anthea currently into first place. Great job.
Next to skate, representing China's Taipei, Yu Feng Sai.
Yu Feng Sai, 14 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event, won the Thailand Open here in Bangkok just a little while ago. And not much of an international record just last week, as she'll skate short program to Copycat by Billie Eilish.
Your trigger fingers mine. Silver dollar, golden flame, dirty water, poison rain, perfect murder. Take you even over anyone, but everybody knows my name. You fit mine, cause all you Sorry.
Yu Fangxi from Chinese Taipei has amassed some successes in this venue already, winning the Thai Open and the Asian Open last week, and she's consolidated that here with another really strong short program performance. Really good musicality, I thought, Ted.
Mark, first of all, good jump technique, no question. A real solid athlete. And you can see her play that character throughout this program as we take a look at big change of edge going into the triple lutz, but gets on the outside on the takeoff, which is good. This triple flip, double toe combination coming down, big deep 3-turn edge going in. And that is given clean, that's good. It was on the quarter for the lutz and right into nice side position on the sit spin. But what I like really, Mark, was the commitment to the character of that performance. Is sort of a little, I don't know, sassy. I'm not sure how one would describe it, but she kept the character from the first note to the last.
Yeah, here the axel, which wasn't optimal. Maybe she salvaged the landing a little bit, but such a difference in stylization for Yu Fang to that from the leader Anthea. Such different stylistic approach, and so impressive to see at such tender ages. They're so committed to the emotional interpretation as well. And
I think that, you know, working a little bit more momentum going into the jump and out of the jumps, used a lot of changes of edges and deep curves going into the jump. So want to straighten those out a little bit to carry a little bit more speed through the entrance, through the takeoff, in the air, and on the landing. So some work to be done in that area, but no question this young woman, a good athlete and a good performer.
I think that, like you say, lengthening the takeoffs will facilitate the triple-triple. She intended obviously just triple flip double toe, but moving forward, I'm sure the quality of this athlete demonstrates she's mindful that a triple-triple will be needed moving forward, as the coach shows perhaps some feedback from family, friends watching at home.
Yeah, but good job. A nice start to the season as we take a look at the scores for Yu Fang. 51.09, good score. That puts Yu Fang currently into second place. Not too far behind Anthea, who had a great skate herself. So good start to this competition. Two strong skates in the first group with one more to come here. One more athlete. Melody Asri Fatma from Indonesia, 14 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event, national junior silver medalist. She'll skate the short program here in Bangkok.
Remember I hope this night can keep you near me. I hope this holiday helps me remember the way we used to be, the way you told me that imperfectly melodies are all we need. I miss you and me.
Melody Azri Fatima from Indonesia just showcased everything that I loved watching on the Junior Grand Prix with you, Ted, last year. Not the technically strongest skater and mistakes made, but just joyful presence on the ice, and the smile that she exuded throughout was just delightful to see. And I remember her coach on the circuit last year, he seemed to really instill that joy in his students.
Well, that's exactly what came to me, is the word joy. And you could see that she loves to be out there. And you feel that all the way through. Watch the double axel here. This is, you know, bailed out a little bit on a lean, big lean, and had to open up, but not tight enough or quick enough in the air. But coming back down the ice, get this double flip off the ice into the double toe loop. Well done. Big smile. And I took the replay right coming in here, beginning of the step sequence. Look at this. I know it's a smile, and I know there's no points for a smile. It's not the point. The point is that it gives you this feeling of joy in her skating. And it does contribute to performance, certainly to a degree, as we take a look at the layback spin at the end of the program in at level 3. So just missing one feature off that.
And I remember, I think it might have been Gdansk, not sure, but last year her coach there with the students there obviously had a long way to travel, and they were so joyful then too. And it's just amazing to see the celebration of skating. As we see these Indonesian athletes, and a sense of respect then shown from Melody to Coach Bang Agus Nugroho.
Followed by a little sneeze there I saw too. There's the play. There you go. But look at the beautiful smiles on their faces. Thrilled to be here, and really a beautiful skater. As you mentioned, some work to do technically. This is going to be a little bit more strength to get higher in the jumps and certainly tighter in the air. Working towards those triples, you have to be able to spin quickly. That means being efficient, straight, strong, tight body in the air. So important, as we see her joy, even in the kiss and cry.
I saw on her social media, she said, thanks to her coaches for the constant motivation and encouragement which pushed her to her limits, and the gratitude between them. So special. The coach-pupil relationship can be so impactful on the lives of these people.
And there you go. That's just a beautiful statement from the athlete about the coach. There's a look at the score. 30.75 for Melody. That'll put her currently into 4th place. And that number, I don't want to say it doesn't matter to her. She loves to skate. You see it. We felt it. Wonderful job.
The following skaters may now
So,
take the
Mark,
ice
we
for
have
6
one group
and
under our belt now. How do you feel? It's always a little nerve-wracking. I'm sure it's the same thing for the skaters, as we haven't done this for a year, and getting our feet back onto the ground, and the timing. How you doing?
From China.
Good, yeah, all good. And I think it's important to note that it can be nerve-wracking for us too, because we just want to represent the skaters well. And on that point, Ted, then we are more than welcome to hear from the skaters. It's wonderful to hear from them and hear their stories and hear, you know, even those connections between them and their coaches, or any decisions made through the off-season. It's really great to hear all that goes into this end product. We are seeing, you know, the culmination of months of hard work, and we're getting to observe it, but you know, hard to articulate and capture all that goes behind the scenes to these performances.
Yeah, as we take a look at, we just saw the start order for group number 2 on the ice, and yeah, we love to get contributions from the skaters, sending us messages, and the coaches as well, and any background stories that, you know, we haven't dug up. I mean, Mark is a major miner in there with the hard hat and the lights, just digging up the, you know, the background, which appreciates so much. It gives you know, just a little bit more of the human factor to the sport, because we cover what they do in the program, but knowing a little bit more about their life and their hopes and their dreams and their hobbies, those types of things, so important and add a lot, I think, to the broadcast as well. And thank you for the viewers sending in some questions. Please send some more in. We've gone through the list already, and be interested to hear from you and where you're watching from, what you'd like to know.
Skating increasingly popular globally. As I said, 26 different skating nations represented here in this first Junior Grand Prix.
And you know what?
Already we've seen so many different
Mark,
performances, Ted, so many different aspects.
Mark, there's nothing like representing your country. You've done that. And when you put that flag or that patch on your shoulder, on your chest, and you represent your country and you hear your name with the announcement of your nation, there's a tremendous feeling of pride and accomplishment having done that. And this is the start of that international journey for most of these athletes.
And as we touched on in the first warm-up group, for these skaters, as we watch Yusong Kim warming up, they will be consumed with the score, and so often for these young humans, they will be fixated on the success of the elements that they map out in this short program. But they will be able to say for the rest of their lives that they've represented their nation at an international competition. And so whilst the enormity of it might be lost on them now, it's something to keep on the resume for life, and that's such a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I think that's what's drives a lot of these skaters. And this is the great thing about the Junior Grand Prix. It really is open to the world. And on the Senior Grand Prix, you really have to be at the top of the game to qualify for that. But in the juniors, it's more open to participation, which is what we've often talked about. But that's what has brought this sport here to this country, to Thailand and into Egypt and a number of other countries. And we know there's an initiative to develop skating in the Middle East, and so there's lots of great things happening. The sport, we have often thought, exists in North America and in Europe, but no, it is spreading around the world, and right here is an example.
And kudos to the International Skating Union facilitating these centres of excellence, and this in itself is indeed a centre of excellence, and then that in turn creates more education and opportunity for skaters to globalize the sport.
Yeah, and Mark, I just want to ask you a question interesting for those young skaters watching, and also for coaches and parents as well. How does one manage disappointment? Now, these young skaters may not know, because it's conflicting emotions, of course, and how do you sort it all out and move on to the next competition? Or if you had a disappointing program, how do you manage all that and turn that around? And that's certainly part of the coach's job, also parents as well. It's because it's a long journey. So you're going to have disappointments along the way. It's keeping the eyes focused forward and keeping the joy of skating ever so present.
Yeah, and as we saw with Melody, who's just competed, the Indonesian athlete, you can sense that the coach has a kind of holistic approach to the performance and the result, which I think is amazing and ideal. But then there are some of the athletes here competing who come from very competitive skating nations who have to be so strong just to make their national team, and thus in turn they're coming with a different kind of set of objectives, and therefore result is very defining, and it's really challenging for the coach and the families to, as you say, manage the emotional roller coaster that competition provides. Great for life, great for the future, but we're dealing with some very young humans, and sometimes that can be really challenging to suppress the disappointment should it not be the optimal day at the office.
And as you were talking about that, of course, we saw Yusong Kim do a nice triple Lutz, a new skater from Korea with not a lot of international experience, but there is pressure coming from those federations that you have to fight to get out of the country to represent your country. So there's a little bit more, we use the word pressure, but I guess both expectation, both personal and external.
Yeah, and Yusong Kim, as we see now, the pressure's on her, perhaps family born too. Her twin sister, Yu Jae Kim, was 4th at Junior Worlds, and now we see Yusong Kim, who's actually finished 2 places higher than her sister at the Junior Grand Prix selection competition for the Korean skaters. So the competition within the nation, the competition within the rink, the competition within the family is obviously difficult, isn't it? Because that's obviously really positive, because it's creating these very brilliant skaters, but pressure-filled, I am sure too.
Yeah, it's also thrilling when you're that good of a skater and you lay it down. There is a reward, and it's a great feeling of satisfaction, but there's a lot of tough journey along the way as we see the skaters exit the ice and get prepared for the first competitor in group number 2 here, the first Junior Grand Prix event of the season. First ISU event in Thailand.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It was an exciting moment.
representing Korea,
Our next skater
Yusung
from Korea,
Kim.
Yusung Kim, 14 years old, was second in junior in the Dennis 10 Memorial Challenge in 2022 in Almaty. She'll skate to Fly Me to the Moon.
What a way to open this next group of skaters. Yusung Kim from Korea, just green boxes all across the top left-hand corner of the screen, suggesting positive grade of execution on each of the 7 elements in her short program.
What a star. What a star. The word that comes to mind as I watched and smiled throughout that performance was simply delightful. And we know it's a sport. Here we see it. There's the double axel. And look at the steps in here, all on one foot landing. Some beautiful upper body movements, wonderful expression. She enters now good speed into this triple flip, good distance across the ice, up into the triple toe loop, nice and clean all the way. And here's the triple Lutz. Watch the moves after this triple Lutz. She does a little sort of a head flip. Here's the Lutz, no problem, right? This little hop there and the little tilt of the head on that as well. Just add little nuances throughout the program. Beautiful.
And here, the creative use of body movement as well within the step sequence, pushing for that maximum level 4 within the step and the GOE2 and the layback to finish. If we see, Ted, any more performances stronger than this, we will be really treated here on this first day of the Junior Grand Prix.
Hey, you impressed so far?
Hugely.
That was, he kind of hesitated on that. I mean, come on, Mark. That was awesome. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And that's what makes this sport so darn nice. It's, you know, it's athletic. Look at the smile on her face. It's beautiful. It's challenging. I love it. But there's a lot of work to get to that level. That's no question.
Yeah, what's so impressive is the refinement, and as you said after the Lutz, we're looking at athletes and coaches, Young Kyung Choi in the kiss and cry with her there, who have really obviously studied the rules to facilitate these good scores. And what will it be?
We'll take a look. Well, 63.04. The Yusong Kim, Korea, clearly takes the lead with a beautiful performance. 10-point lead over some pretty good skating by Pia as well from Switzerland. Well, as we take a look at the next skater, Ru Chen Tong from China, 13 years old. First Junior Grand Prix event. We saw some really nice elements on the warm-up. She'll skate the short program to Secrets.
Ru Chen Tong from China, only the 7th skater to compete in this event, and we are being treated to so many clean skates. It's interesting, Ted, you were mentioning about the absence of some of the Chinese skaters over the Junior Grand Prix series over the past few seasons, but certainly Chinese women's skating looking very strong domestically, and Ru Chen flying the flag proudly here.
Now let's take a look at some of the elements. Just another delightful performance. Look at the head following the arms, and here's a look at the triple Lutz, hands above the head, gets that free leg back really quickly, stabilizes the landing, really solid with some nice steps after as well. The triple Sauerkau, double toe combination, not as much flow, and pushes the free leg back, gets it done. Double axel right off a step, that was nice, followed by change of edge, the spiral right there, so lots of good transitions into and out of the elements as we see some of the step sequence as well, Mark.
Yeah, and you can see, obviously, wondrous as this was, you can still see the room for developmental growth. The triple salchow combination simpler in its base value, and I did think that the speed was wonderful from Ruchen in places, but perhaps more open crossover transitions, so not as difficult in some of its content choreographically, but that's perhaps a path in her development as she nails the technical elements and increases the transitional difficulty over time.
Yeah, as we were talking about, you know, during COVID, we didn't see any of the athletes from the delegation of China last year, we did see a couple, and they were wonderful skaters, and I think we'll see a much larger team appear throughout the Junior Grand Prix season this year, and looking forward to watching these young stars emerge. And they've been at home watching a lot of the skating going on around them, and now they're ready to display their skills on the Junior Grand Prix, and looking forward to that.
And Zhang Yian from China was 6th at Junior Worlds, but interestingly, Ri Chen Tong did beat her domestically this month. So, as we said before, competition is hot, and that fuels these skaters to improve.
No question, 57.45, and that'll put Ri Chen currently into 2nd place, which is a good finish and a good score as we take a look at the top 5 on the leaderboard so far in the competition, the women's short program. There is the next competitor from Latvia, Elizaveta Dersina, 13 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event. No international competition on the bio here. She'll skate to the waltz, Sophia.
Latvia's Elizaveta Dersina completes her short program, and a great triple toe, double toe midway through the program. some other little mistakes, but I think that's great opportunity in learning for this athlete. You can see the opportunity here to learn from those that have been on her warm-up group.
Yeah, it was interesting because the double axel was a little weak right off the start of the program here. You see completely, downgraded, and then okay, going to be a slow rotator, but no, comes back with this. Watch her snap tight into rotation, maybe a little under rotate on the landing, and right into the double toe loop. So the technique is there, no question. Double lats, good lift on that. And here is a look, the entrance into, watch the change of edge. She's back inside at the moment. Now she'll flip forward, outside, gets that feature. That's a change combination spin level 4, so all 4 features. There's a difficult variation in the sit spin. And into the back sit as well. And change position of the camel. So good ending to this performance. Personal best. Doesn't have a personal best score actually at this point. First competition, and did very nicely first time out.
And we can't underestimate the enormity of the occasion. She did some advanced novice competitions internationally last season, but this is a much bigger stage, and she appears to have delivered what looks like, maybe it'd be interesting to know what the double axel looks like in practice, but that appears to have been as good a skate as Elizaveta could have delivered, and that continues this really clean skate competition that we're enjoying, Ted.
Oh yeah, no question. I think that she can do that double axel much better. It just did not convert into a tight rotation position quick enough. So we saw that in the triple toe loop. That's not an issue just on that one element. But yeah, we've seen really some good, solid skates by these skaters, even though there may be different standards. Everyone at this point in the competition seemed to be skating quite well for themselves. Let's take a look at the scores for the short program. 33.95. And that will put Elizaveta currently into 5th place.
This currently puts her in the 5th place. Next to skate.
Our next competitor comes from Malaysia, 17-year-old Catherine Onge Pukwan, 3rd Junior Grand Prix season, 36th place finish at the Junior World Championships last year in Calgary. 40.24 personal best from that Junior World Championships. And looking to improve that score here in the first Junior Grand Prix of 2023. And Catherine will skate the short program to Havana.
couldn't want a better reaction for each skater to look so visibly pleased with the performance for Catherine Ong-Kui-Kwan. And I remember Ted last year in Ostrava, she oozed the happiness around the rink, on and off the ice, and she's maintained that joy. And that is one of my favorite things to see, a skater so delighted with what they have produced.
Yeah, and also just the delight to be here. As you mentioned, not only on the ice did she ooze, as you said, the joy, but also off the ice, just being there. Let's take a look at some of the elements in this program. Look at the shoulder, to lift that right shoulder up to make sure the weight stays over top of the left hip. That was a great move, so she kept the body in alignment here. This did not work out so well. There's the triple Salchow, big lean forward, couldn't believe she kept on her feet. That was good. Had to go into a single toe loop, lose some big points there. Double axel a little bit later in the program, pretty solid landing. Want to have a little bit more speed coming out of there, right up into a flying sit spin. That is in a level 4 for all 4 features on that element, so good score there.
And interestingly, Catherine, I've saw that on her social media, she's been attempting quadruple Salchows, so she's obviously mindful of the need to keep pushing the technical boundaries.
Yeah, and that could have been some of the issues with the triple Salchow. If you're trying the quad,
yeah,
you know, it just changes your timing a little bit, but, you know, that's just speculating, of course. But good, you know, good job. Some little work to do. First competition of the season. Expect to not be perfect at this point. No question. Let's take a look at the scores for Catherine. 39.13, and that'll put Catherine currently into 5th place.
This currently puts her in the 5th place.
Well, there is our next competitor coming from Hong Kong, 15-year-old Chloe Desiree Leong, 2nd Junior Grand Prix season silver medalist at Nationals 2 years ago, coached by Brian Chan, 41.44 personal best last season on the Junior Grand Prix in Gdansk. And we'll skate the short program here to Milan Reflection by Epic Version.
Great musical phrasing for the final combination spin for Chloe Desiree Leung from Hong Kong. Another skater that competed here last week at the Asian Open. She was 11th at that competition. But this short program appears to be more successful. Ted, she had no flying sit spin call last week, but that coming in positively here.
Well, you know, it sounds a bit corny, but I love that music. Okay, there's a look at the triple Lutz. Gets it done, but a big lunge on the takeoff and a little bit too forward on the landing, but gets it all the way around, so that was good. Triple flip, that was not so successful. Didn't lift and did not get in tight enough for rotation. The double axel a little bit later in the program uses the arms of the Friedrich to lift up into the air. That's being looked at as well. It's on the quarter within the judging system. I just thought some of these steps here, watch that little look back with a little hop there, a little bracket on that inside edge. There's a look at the change of edge on the change combination spin at the end of the program. That is in with all 4 features and a plus GOE, so some pretty good scores coming off that last element.
And Chloe competed again, as I said, last week, and there were other female entrants in the women's competition from Hong Kong, and so there'll be that internal competition as well. So many of the skaters will be vying to be selected for their nation at maybe junior world championships towards the end of the season. So all of these outings are important for them as they push themselves forward as the front runner for their nation.
And for a second junior Grand Prix, perhaps, as we take a look at the scores for Chloe, 39.72, and that will put Chloe currently into 5th place at the end of group number 2. And there we go, Mark. That was a pretty good, as we take a look at the current standings on the leaderboard, Mark, that was a pretty good first 2 groups, don't you think?
Really exciting, and that score from the leader from Korea would have been top 6 at Junior Worlds at the end of last season, so that's already indication that this will hopefully be a really brilliant year on the Junior Grand Prix. And as we see the ice marshals stepping onto the ice, and the ice being prepared for the next 2 groups of skaters, we can look now to some of the exciting videos that the International Skating Union have prepared, and the mic'd up series. And I just love seeing this, Ted, the mic'd up videos of the coaches ringside watching their charges. So the first will be that of Brian Joubert. He is a coach now, former world champion himself. And then to Marie-France Debreu. And then finally, something that you're heavily involved with, a promotion for the World Championships to be held in Montreal in March next year.
Enjoy. We'll be back.
Tu dois penser à ce que tu dois faire. D'accord ? Comment? Bon, ça va mon grand? Nickel. Nickel. La vie est belle. Très bien. Ça part un peu des fois. Mais ça c'est normal ça. Après on en parlera. Ah, c'est très bien ce que tu me fais là. Ouais. Maintenant, sache un truc, le stress il faut que tu l'aies. C'est indispensable. La seule chose, c'est que tu dois le contrôler. Et tu pourras le contrôler si tu contrôles ta respiration. Ok? Tu rentres sur piste, tu descends comment les jambes là? Ouais. Tu rentres sur piste, tu rentres dedans. Hein? Bon. 2, 3, 4. Stop. Il y a un peu de musique. Bravo mon petit. Ah ben c'était super bien. Bravo, bravo. Après, bon, on verra le score, hein. Ça suffira, mais on verra, parce qu'après il y a des pirouettes, tu vois. Hein. Ça va pas? Bah, c'est au niveau des GOE quoi. La dernière, tu vois, t'as pas le temps sur la purée de combiné, pareil. Faut voir cette transition.
Jean a obtenu un total de 56,80.
Oh là là.
Ce qui passe en deuxième position.
John has won in the short program a total of 56.81, which places him currently in second place.
Mais c'est bien patiné. Bon, monsieur.
Ah, je suis content.
C'est ton record là, non?
Ouais, on record, c'était 43.
Ouais, c'est bien, super.
Tiens-toi, tiens-toi. Clear, clear, clear. Let go, babe. Et hop. Laisse aller. Reste avec elle. That's it. Avec elle. Reste en bas. 2, 3. Et... Danse, danse. C'est pas grave, danse. No worries. Tiens-toi. 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 Jambes, 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 jambes. Tiens-toi. Jambes, jambes, jambes. Et eyes. Et solide. Et tac. C'était pas mal, mais on se sont battus. With the rev more in the lift, they still made the twizzles. Like, he was strong here, very strong. Testament to their training.
Yes, it is.
Good job, guys. Good job. See how trained you are? Super smart. Was it fun? Your first final?
Yes.
How was that?
Like any competition, once the music starts.
Let's go. Bouton automatique. C'est a short competition, eh?
Oh my God, it's like, and when you skate first, you know, it's like, better more out long instead of...
Yeah, yeah. No, man. Okay, you stayed strong.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bangkok, Thailand. You're watching the first day of Junior Grand Prix 2023 in this new part of the world for figure skating. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanratty. Mark, are you there? He's working from Nottingham. Yeah, you're there. I can hear you, Mark. Did you go have a cup of tea?
Cup of tea, quickly created a little check-in with my children. It seems weird to be commentating on elite figure skating in Bangkok and then be able to see my children. That's quite a treat.
Technology. As you can see here, they had sort of a, I don't want to say disco because that ages me, this is for sure, but some sort of a nightclub type of act. And you get the fans. You can see all the fans in the stands over there. So that's great to have these new fans really in the building for these skaters, Mark.
Yeah. Wonderful to see that, and we wonder the impact of this and the event last week here in this venue and how that will hopefully encourage more competitive skaters here in Bangkok. The promo for the World Championships looks amazing. I cannot wait to see more of that. I want to see that again already. It looks so good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to put together. We've got some new items that'll come together towards Montreal in March 18th. Happening, and this is going to be incredible. The Bell Center, downtown Montreal. Montreal, listen, for those of you who have never been to Canada, of course, we have two official languages, both English and French, and the province of Quebec is the French province for sure, and it is a little bit of Europe, a little bit of Canada, a little bit of everything, really, and it is a very special, spectacular city. Is outdoor rinks. There'll be lots of festivities, of course, and the Bell Center is where the Montreal Canadiens, NHL hockey takes place. A spectacular facility with wonderful technology within that building. So we're going to create a very special feeling and environment there as well. And we will actually broadcast live to the audience through a device which you put in your ear. And so if you're there, you buy a ticket, you purchase this for very reasonable price, this little device, you'll hear commentary, you'll be able to ask questions at a live World Championship event. So lots of really innovative initiatives taking place at the World Championships coming up in 2024, pardon me, in Montreal.
The venue itself, the structure looked really cool too. It looked like a really unique structure.
It seats. Oh no, that actually is the Olympic Stadium from 1976 Summer Olympic Games. In the distance was the city of Montreal down there, and it's kind of like a spaceship, so it sort of worked with the whole theme of that video for sure. But it's all part of Montreal. It's a big landmark there, no question. But it'll be a special event, and we're really looking forward to hosting the World in Montreal. That Bell Center seats 20,000 people. Not that we'll fill that, but that's a pretty big building, of course, similar to that in Japan this past season.
Yeah, I've got all that to come. Obviously, the Junior Grand Prix will then be followed up with the seniors, and that'll start Skate America mid-October. And it's just amazing, Ted, especially for me being here in the UK and not being on site. I lose perspective and an awareness of what an amazing job the International Skating Union does in uprooting and repositioning themselves in ice rinks around the world to facilitate these events.
That's actually a really good point, Mark. And you're going to be hosting this from Istanbul, and just for our fans listening to this broadcast, we will always have a person with the exception of Osaka. I'll be on site next week in Linz, Austria. You'll be at home. You take over, and it'll be on site in Istanbul. I will be at home in my studio, and then we will both be remote for Osaka. I will be in Budapest, you'll be at home, and then we will both be together for Gdansk and Yerevan. Really looking forward to that. We have a lot of fun, of course, and we can have lots of discussions and interviews with the skaters and the coaches. Of course, we'll be winding down the Junior Grand Prix at that point, and so it'll be an exciting race to see who qualifies for the final.
Yes, points available for the skaters. So I think 15 points available for first place, and then that tiers down, and some of the skaters that we'll see compete today narrowly just missed out on the Junior Grand Prix final, and that will be, I'm sure, at the forefront of some of their minds as they compete in the short program today.
And let's talk a little bit about, we've had some questions before about what we think of the age changes on the Junior Grand Prix, or the entrance into seniors, which went from 15 now to 16, and of course it'll move on to 17 next year. What are your thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, it was interesting in researching for some discussions that you and I had online earlier this month. I came across one of the International Skating Union's communications, which was a research paper regarding the rationale behind it, and it really, to me, does make so much sense. And hopefully, although there has been some consternation from some regarding this, insofar as we have seen so many Olympic champions and world champions being at a very tender age of 15 who would now not be age eligible for seniors, we are really mindful and conscious of the impact of the bodies and the longevity of the athletes both on and off the ice. And so hopefully it will carve that for these young people.
I think it's a great decision, number one, for the health of the skater, but number two, it also, I believe, will help to facilitate a longer career in juniors, which we will be able to follow for 4 years, from the ages of 13 in the entry into the ages of 16 or 17 as they exit out of the Junior Grand Prix into the Senior Grand Prix. By that time, both physically and psychologically, they will have matured, and we'll see a different type of skater in seniors. So in some ways, we have to wait and find out. In some ways, we'll see perhaps two different types of careers from one skater. And I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to add a lot to the Junior Grand Prix because the storylines will thicken, because people will be competing against each other a little bit longer. And so rivalries will start. I think that's going to be terrific.
And hopefully it will really see the artistry be exploited, because we're seeing already today, we've seen performances with clean triple combination, triple lutz, and level 4 spins, and it's a competitive sport, so thus athletes will be, and coaches will be, pushed to find other ways in which to keep advancing themselves forward. And so hopefully the knock-on impact will be on a lot of the composition and the presentation, and that's something that I think fans around the world really look to skating to offer. So often we hear that fan favorites are the skaters that move them and emote to them, and so hopefully that'll be something that will just be continued to develop both juniors and seniors.
Yeah, we just saw the standings so far in the competition. We'll see group number 3 take to the ice in just a few moments. And once again, as I mentioned, we will see a wide variety of skill levels, of course, because many of these skaters, may come from countries such as this that may not have as much ice time or off-ice facilities or expertise at this point, but that will start to change as they continue their journey in this sport. And a facility like this also will be able to host, or does host, short track skating as well. So Thailand is a new entry, if you will, into the world of ice sports, and the dedication of this facility and the dedication of the ISU to make it a center of excellence. So, pretty exciting to see our sport start to expand around the world as we hear the announcer asking the skaters to take the ice for the 6-minute warm-up, group number 3.
From Thailand, Christabel Chang.
I always think that the moments just before one were the most anxious. It's always easier for the skaters when they can finally get their feet on the ice and take control over their destiny a little bit more.
Yeah, no question. There's 5 skaters in this group. They seem to be bunched down to the end, following each other. It's a big rink. It's an Olympic-size arena. It's not a North American size, and lots of space. The ice is perhaps a little softer here, Mark. It's very hot and humid here in Bangkok, and not easy to keep the ice frozen. They've done a really nice job with the quality here today, but it can get a little softer, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for figure skating, but the edges will grab a little tighter, perhaps.
I did notice some of the coaches as we look at Valtteri, an Italian ice dance coach here to support the Italian skater in this group. I did notice the coaches wearing T-shirts, and I thought, it's not...
yeah, exactly.
Not as chilly as some of the venues that I attended last year.
Okay, I came into the arena the other day in sandals, so sandals and shorts. Shorts. Of course, my old bony legs. I mean, it's pretty, pretty bad for people to have to, what are those? But It was pretty warm outside, so I decided to sort of venture in it, with the shorts on and whatnot. But yeah, and it was really hot the other day for the practice sessions for the skaters. And many of them were really, really hot. They have to hydrate themselves, no question. But today's a bit cooler in the facility. As we take a look at the fans that have come in to watch this sport, they don't see a lot of this perhaps online, but not a lot of it live. And as you well know, Mark, it's completely different live. The speed is really quite remarkable.
Yeah, hard to grasp and appreciate the speed and the ice coverage from the screen. Obviously, with the camera following the skater, we don't really see the perspective of how much ice they cover in such a short space of time, and that really plays into the skating skills component score. And
yeah, we
I think sometimes that's something that everybody doesn't appreciate when they see scores come up. Sometimes the speed or lack of speed can have a big impact on the PCS.
Yeah, no question. And I think that if you haven't been to a live event, and the first time you get a chance, I would go, because you're looking at the sport on TV, and it is in some ways nice on TV because you're getting a close-up and you're seeing perhaps the emotion a little bit more, and you're seeing a different sport on TV than you are live. Now, what you see live is the ice coverage is shocking, particularly in pair skating. You just go, oh my gosh, it didn't look that hard on TV, but it is. And so if you get a chance to visit a competition or show, make sure you take that experience and enjoy skating in a different way.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Ted, but I think for me, one of the things I love of live skating is the sound of the blade on the ice and the purring sound of good edges, or even the excitement of a scratch takeoff and the pounding impact of landing. It's unlike anything else that you can hear, I think, in any other sport.
Okay, explain to the audience the difference between the sound of a good takeoff or the sound of a bad takeoff.
So for those less aware of the sport, so the blades that we use have a toe pick at the front, so it's a sharp, jagged edge at the front, and although that can be used to assist to get into the air, it can also be very detrimental if used when carving the edges, and there's a purring sound of the edge of our blade across the ice, which is quite delightful, and there's a very abrasive scratch sound when the toe pick is used. And there are occasions when the toe pick is necessary, and there are occasions when it certainly isn't, and the judges will be expertly aware of the pros and cons of that noise. I want to be able to recreate it, but it's not something I can do with my voice.
No, you just did it with your voice. You're scratching across the ice. That's kind of annoying to listen to that, right? But it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing on the ice. When you hear a skater use their toe picks and they're scratching, first of all, they're slowing themselves down. Second of all, you're going to see chips of ice flying, and this is not good quality skating. That pick is used to jab the ice and to help assist you on a jump, for sure. But you don't want those picks to be used really much more than that, other than for safety. But you can see this young woman just gliding across the ice with great speed, and those picks are there, but they're not inhibiting her flow. So that may be sort of a little lesson in the quality of skating. But if you get to see live skating, you'll notice the sound of a skater that's struggling a little bit, and the sound of a skater who has beautiful flow is pretty much silent.
Oh, yeah. And as we look at, I think, Yo Takagi from Japan, so many wonderful skaters from the Japanese Skating Federation who appear to float effortlessly. And I think of the likes of Yuka Sato, another Japanese skater, the world champion in '94, and she just appeared to have complete command and mastery of the blade that we use to be able to facilitate, create, and cull her speed.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Japanese skaters, every single one of them skate. They may make mistakes. They could have 3 or 4 falls at a program like any skater can have, but every single skater that's trained in Japan that comes out and represent their country has this incredible ability with the blade and the ice to flow and to carry speed, and it's just exhilarating to watch them. And you wonder, what are the exercises they're doing at the young ages of these skaters to encourage them to skate with just speed and fearlessness? And it is really something. Korea does the same thing as well. We have obviously some very good skaters in North America as well that do that. But I would say, I don't know, but get in trouble for this, but I would say on a more consistent standard, the skaters from Japan come with incredible quality, skating quality skills. As we enter group number 3 here, day 1, the Junior Grand Prix in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanratty. We're excited to get this season started. Our first competitor in group number 3, Yo Takagi from Japan, born in Tokyo, and does not have, has an international record a little bit, but pretty new to this level of skating. And we'll see what Yo will bring to the ice here in Junior Grand Prix number 1 as she'll skate to the music from Edith Piaf.
Well, fresh on the back of our discussion of skating skills, the performance by Yo Takagi from Japan demonstrated just that. Easily, I think, the greatest flow and ice coverage that we've seen. Just unfortunate, the mistake on the triple toe combination to start the program.
Yeah, and we saw,
15-year-old.
We said not a lot of experience internationally. Slowed down a little bit going into the Lutz, wanted to make sure it got done, and it did. You know, beautiful jump, of course, and this young woman has, as we mentioned, great skating skills across the ice and perhaps a little bit of nerves, first time out. But even with the mistake, you still see some pretty good scores. There's a triple toe loop, and back on the heel, and takes the fall. There's the double axel. Look at the distance off the ice, across the ice, in the air, right up into a change, or into a camel spin. There's a change of edge, upside down position, and that comes in at a level 4. So all 4 features, grabs the blade as well, and then up into that difficult variation. As we see,
such an all-rounded athlete, really.
And there's the triple Lutz. Just a little careful coming in, gets it done, gets the score. But as she will continue to develop this season, you'll see that with a much more attack, I think, as all the Japanese skaters have. And it's really always when you see the Japanese skaters, you know you're going to see something special. May have a rough night from time to time, but the basic skating quality of those athletes is high level.
Absolutely, and she trains at the MF Academy when it was established, and that another real hub in Japan for brilliant skaters. So her training mates will be pushing her day in and day out in training as we await sport.
Sorry, Mark, for Yo, 58.30, and that will put her currently in a second place, even with that mistake. So pretty good score, with taking a fairly big fall on that. So you can see what that score would have been without it. Pretty close to 63 herself. So we move on to skater number 2 in Group 3, 15-year-old Christabel Cheng from Thailand. Right here you can hear the fans cheering. First Junior Grand Prix season, 11th at the Thailand Open, just recently held here. We'll skate the short program in front of her home fans to ordinary.
What a shame the fall out of the Bielman spin position at the end of the program for Christabel Chang, but she, the first skater from Thailand to compete in a Junior Grand Prix in front of a home crowd, and this a huge occasion, and great to see her soaking up the support from the fans.
And I thought Christabel skated really well in this program. Of course, that little mistake at the end, just beautiful Bielman position, just lost the balance. And here we take a look at the double axel up and around, and has to step out, just over rotated actually a little bit, landed back on the heel. Here is the double flip, no problem, double toe loop. Okay, well done. And you can see the side position here. This was the flying sit spin, I believe, that I didn't get the jump part of it. Sorry about that. And here's the double lutz a little later in the program, all the way around. A little looser in the air, certainly want to get the feet together. Here's the layback. This is side position. Grabs the blade, brings it up to the head cutter with a back position. There's the B-bone. Looks good at this point, and then just loses the balance. Goes back on the heel, then to the toe, and has to take the fall right at the end. A little disappointing, but other than that, a good program for Cristobal.
And that's brilliant. There's a smile and the kiss and cry, and such a poignant moment for figure skating in Thailand to see her competing at Junior Grand Prix in her home nation.
Yeah, there's such a great pride to sort of be the pioneers, if you will, of a sport internationally, and of course we've seen Thai skaters before, but it's a relatively young country in our sport, and it's it's sort of an adventure for these young people as they represent their country in a new sport that's not so well known here. 30.39 for Cristobal Cheng from Thailand. That'll put her currently in 11th place.
Next to skate, representing Korea.
Well, our next competitor comes from Korea. Haesu Han, third Junior Grand Prix season. 5th and 11th last year on the Junior Grand Prix. 10th at the Korean Senior National Championship. 59.17 personal best in the short program, earning that last season in Gdansk. And looking to top that score right here in week number 1.
Unique finish position for Haesu Han from Korea, a skater who has, over the past 2 seasons, had top 5 finishes at her Junior Grand Prix. So pressure and expectation coming into this event. Just a shame that she had the double lutz instead of the triple lutz.
Yeah, I will not be happy with that because I had a very good program going to that point, and is really a beautiful skater. We'll see some unique elements here and transitions as we see just the start of the program. She's aware not only of the sport but of the art. Here's the triple flip. Nice, tight in the air, quick low in the knee, pushes high in the second jump, the triple toe loop. Beautiful quality. And watch right here, rushes, watch the upper body turn too early. Doesn't get into a tight rotation position and has to bail out of that. That's just a double Lutz. Ina Bauer, nice and patient, up into the air. Beautiful quality. Soft knees, watch right here. Right there, interesting entry to the change combinations, but not for the double axel mark.
Yes, and you can see her coach, Hyung Kyung Choi, just in the back of shot, counting, making sure that every feature is established. And I remember last year, as we traveled around Europe for the Junior Grand Prix, seeing Hyung Kyung Choi, the coach, at so many of the events, she has so many students, and it's a very consistent technique, obviously a very clear process of tuition and what they want to see. And it's good.
I love the arm movements over the head. Some really interesting quality choreography throughout that program. Great coaching, great preparation. Just a mistake on that triple Lutz. That'll be disappointing. These skaters have set a very high standard for themselves.
And the double Lutz has a base value of 2.9, the triple 5.9. So there's the first 3 points, and there's been a knock-on impact in other areas as well.
Hee-Soo Han from Korea. Score is 55.29. That's fourth. Not so bad considering that double Lutz. That will certainly keep her in the hunt for the podium. As we take a look at the leaderboard so far in the competition, your top 5 skaters.
Next to skate, representing Italy, Amanda Gazzo.
13-year-old Amanda Gazzo from Italy, first Junior Grand Prix event, and coached by Eduardo De Benedì. I saw some special moments from this young woman in the practice sessions. She'll skate to Moonlight Sonata. Okay, we're back, Mark. Sorry, everyone, that technical difficulty. We just missed Hedy Shi from Canada, and I went into the arena to watch live, and Hedy had a pretty good skate. Didn't get the triple down, it was triple flip, double toe. Other than that, some nice elements throughout the program, and the skater before Hedy skated Amanda from Italy. What a beautiful skater she is. Had a couple mistakes. She had a 51.79. As we wait for the scores for Hedy Shi from Canada. Amanda Gizzo from Italy with a 51.79 is currently in 6th place. Hedy Shi just finished her program and waiting for her scores. Had some technical difficulties, took us offline for a bit, and there is Hedy.
It's got the picture back here, Ted, as well, so good to see coach and skate in the kit.
From Uzbekistan. Scores, please. Varvara Karkova from Uzbekistan has earned in the short program 41.54. This currently puts her in the 10th place. Next to skate, representing Australia, Hannah Bath. Quang Di Lê from Vietnam. The scores, please. Quang Du Lê from Vietnam has earned in the short program 18.48. This currently puts her in the 23rd place. Next to skate, representing New Zealand, Misaki Joe. Misaki Joe from New Zealand. Scores, please. Misaki Joe from New Zealand has earned in the short program 25.71. This currently puts her in the 21st place. Next to skate, representing Germany, Anna Elisabeth Reckel. Anna Elisabeth Reckel from Germany. The scores, please. Anna Elizabeth Gretel from Germany has earned in the short program 40.19. This currently puts her in 14th place. The following skaters may now take the ice for a 6-minute warm-up. From the Philippines, Sophia Lexi Jacqueline Frank. From Israel, Sophia Shifrin. From the United Arab Emirates, Alisa Westerhoff. From Thailand, Hataratira Kanashike. From the Republic of South Africa, Ella Hawks. And from Japan, Ami Nakai. there's 1 minute left in this warm-up. Skaters, your warm-up has ended. Please leave the ice. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Philippines, Sophia Lexi Jacqueline Frank. Sophia Lexi Jacqueline Frank from the Philippines. The scores, please. Sophia Lexi Jacqueline Frank from the Philippines has earned 42.85 in the short program. This puts her currently in the 12th place. Next to skate, representing Israel, Sophia Schifrin.
Test.
Sophia Schifrin from Israel. The scores, please.
Okay, everyone, we are back.
Sophia Schifrin from Israel.
Waiting for the
has
scores for
earned the
Sophia
short
Schifrin
program.
from Israel, 53.07. The quirky program, but really well done. We're sorry for the technical problems we are experiencing here. And we're back on air for the
Next
final
to skate,
group.
representing United Arab Emirates, Elisa Westerhoff.
Here's Elisa Westerhoff from the United Arab Emirates, 16 years old, first Junior Grand Prix event and international competition, born in Rotterdam in the Netherlands to skate. "16-year-old Elisa Westerhoff from the United Arab Emirates." And a couple of challenges in this program, and once again, just a reminder, we've had a number of technical issues here. And so we won't be seeing any replays for a moment. We continue to work on our systems and hopefully get them back up as soon as we possibly can. And Mark Hanratty waiting online in Nottingham, unable to connect with us as well at the moment. We'll be working on that and hopefully get back up to full operations as soon as possible. Appreciate the patience. Technology is wonderful when it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, for Eliza, a little bit up and down performance, some nice elements. Good double luts, fall on the steps, fall on the double flip, double loop as well. But some experience gain, and certainly probably not privy to all the extra ice time and off ice facilities that many of the other skaters have. as we wait for her marks. And at least 4 of the 7 elements under review have just been cleared. And this will be the first set of international scores for Elisa. We talked about with Mark the different standards and levels that we have in the competition. First place is 63.05, and here we have a 23.42 for Eliza Westerhoff, and that'll put her currently in the 26th position.
Next to skate, representing Thailand.
Well, here is our next competitor representing Thailand, Paratarita Kasanege, 14 years old, second Junior Grand Prix season, 5th in Enya last year in week 7, 21st at the Junior World Championships in Calgary. 61.42 personal best, skating Capriccio Espanol. Well, an inspired performance by Paratarita Kasanege from Thailand here in front of a home audience. That was awesome. After the triple lutz, you could see the energy level just flow in the step sequence. That was great. You can see her coming off the ice, just pleased with that performance. Wow. What a great job. Well, don't get to see the replays. As I mentioned, we've got some of our systems out, so you won't see the replays. But it was a really nice triple flip double toe loop. great lift, wonderful distance on the double axle, and the triple Lutz gets done near the end of the program. Good spins as well, and the step sequence was just energized with assertiveness throughout the program, throughout the step sequence. We should see a pretty good score for Petatarita. Personal best 61.42. We'll see where this score ends up to that. That's a pretty big score. As we take a look at the next skater, Ella Hawks from the Republic of South Africa, standing by, getting ready for her performance as we wait for the scores for Petatarita Kasanega from Thailand. That's got to feel wonderful having to skate in front of, pretty full audience here. A lot of school kids here to witness the sport. It's not a well-known sport here, but getting more exposure. And as I've noticed, a number of the Thai skaters, really good, strong, basic skating skills. And so there is a bit of a movement happening in this sport, in this country. It'll take time to develop as we take a look in the kiss and cry. Big smiles all the way around. Yeah, what a great feeling that is, to skate at home and do all the elements with high energy.
The scores, please.
And let's take a look at the scores for the short program. 51.16. That'll put Petatarita into 10th place.
Next to skate, representing the Republic of South Africa,
15-year-old Ella Hawks from the Republic of South Africa, second Junior Grand Prix season, 31st last year at the final Junior Grand Prix event in Enya. 40.14 personal best, earning that last season on the Junior Grand Prix. Skate to the Beat Goes On, and the dance by Cinematic Orchestra. could see the excitement for Ella Hawks at the end of that program. That was a very strong skate for this young woman. 15 years old, born in Cape Town, coached by Barbara Hawks. So most certainly a relation, probably your mom, of course, as we take a look at the final skater taking to the ice. Ami Nakai from Japan. Well, what a great performance by Ella. As we see her come into the kiss and cry, big smile, and great joy when you skate your best. Doesn't matter what the score is, you can see. Yeah, that's a great moment. When you make it to an international competition, no matter what, great fist pump there, and you skate the best that you can, that's all. The numbers, it just doesn't really matter at this stage. It's all you can do. And you can see the excitement and the joy of competing on Ella's face. And all that hard work and the many disappointments that come along the way get paid off right in a moment like this. This is why you do it. And once you feel this, you want it again. And you try harder elements, and then there's the challenges again, and then you reach that next level. It's quite addictive, that's for sure, because this sport is not easy. It's extremely difficult, so every accomplishment brings such great joy with it. Personal best 40.14, so we'll see if Ella can top that score here with that performance. Week 1 here on the Junior Grand Prix.
Ella Hawks from the Republic of South
Here's the score, 44.145. And boy, there is a very happy Ella Hawks for the Republic of South Africa. And she takes 13th place. But a great performance. Personal best. And a hug from Coach and Mo.
Next to skate,
The final competitor
Japan,
in this event.
Ami Nakai.
15-year-old Ami Nakai, 69 points, personal best, earning that at the Baltic Cup last season. Hoping to top that here right now. Skating to baby. God bless you. Well, a beautiful, wonderful performance sprinkled with such great joy from this young woman. Solid technique, a little struggle in the double axel to start the program, but Ami started to settle down and gain confidence and momentum and energy, but always kept delicate and beautiful performance throughout the program. And this should be a big score, challenging the leader. Needs a 63.05 to take the lead. And I think that performance might just do it. We'll find out in just a moment. Of course, the skating skills, as we've talked about, from the nation of Japan, in every skater and every discipline, have complete solid technique, wonderful momentum and flow across the ice. They make skating look full of joy and make it look easy, which is difficult. Just a beautiful performance, and waiting for these scores to come in, hoping to take the lead, hoping to take a top 2 finish here in week 1, and moving on to try to qualify for the Junior Grand Prix final, which will happen in Beijing in early December. But you need 2 wins or 2 finishes in the top 2 would pretty much guarantee you to make it. There are other combinations of results, of course, but you win 2 events, you're in. Let's take a look at the scores. For Ami Nakai, 67.49. Nice, delicate nod of approval. There's a smile as Ami takes over the lead, and will finish in top spot here at week 1 on the Junior Grand Prix event.
This concludes the Junior Women's Short Program event.
And we'll take a look at the standings. There they are. I mean, Nakai from Japan, 67.49, 4-point lead. Yusung Kim from Korea, 63.04, and Nika Gao from the United States in 3rd place. Great performance early on in the competition as we take a look at the rest of the field in the women's short program. Well, we apologize for the technical problems that we've had at this point. We worked hard to see what we could get for the men's short program coming up in just a little while. That will start local time here at 18:45 here in Bangkok. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage of the women's short program. Day 1, week 1 from Bangkok, Thailand. Up next, the men's short program, 18:45. We hope you'll join us. We'll be back.